Hello, and welcome to the Notary Life with Kimmi Podcast. I am also one of the trainers with Notary Educators, which includes myself, Kimberly Nunnally, Angela Johnson, and Alexis Franklin. We each own our own very successful notary businesses and teach notaries in all 50 states to be great and grow their own business. We will discuss general notary work, apostilles, ink fingerprinting, and the duties of a notary signing agent, and much, much more. For all of your notary needs, please visit notaryeducatorsllc.com. We hope you enjoy the show, and we wish you much success.
And stuff.
We're live.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome to Monday Mentor with Alexis and Angela. And Kim is not here tonight, but she misses you guys, of course, and says hi to everyone. And tonight, before we get started, I'm Angela from AJ Mobile Notary, and I'll let Alexis introduce herself.
Hey, everyone. It's Alexis from Mobile Notary Services by Alexis.
And we have a very, very good subject tonight, apostilles, how to add it to your services. But first, I think Alexis has a short story.
Yeah, just something on, cause we always talk about customer service over here. But basically, I had an apostille. It was a bunch. He had like 9 documents for his business. And you know, we talked about this before when it comes to apostilles. I might not necessarily charge him what I would normally charge, the full amount. I give him a little discount since there's so many documents. And my first thought was I gave him a little bit more deep of a discount than I normally would. So I'm just telling you how I come full circle. So I kept going back and forth with myself, like, why did I do that? And I saw somebody in the Facebook group say that they kind of priced the job a little cheaper than they normally would too, and they were kind of going back and forth with themselves about it. But long story short, after I did the job for him, finished and everything, he called me literally. Actually, I didn't even drop the papers back off to him yet. That's what it was. It was completed, but we were going to meet up later on. And he called me. He was like, "I'm so sorry, but I have a few more documents I need you to do." And I was like, look at that. Like, it's just always those scenarios where, you know, you kind of thinking too much about it. Like I said, I priced myself a little lower than what I would have, but it came full circle back to me right there now, moment when he had a few more documents to do, and he gave them to me on Friday, and I got them done today and finished them today, and he was so thankful. And he owns a business over in India actually, and he said he always has different documents he needs, you know, apostilled and stuff. So that was just a great business connection. And like I said, overthinking myself, and there's no need to, because it always comes back to you goodness in general. And it usually comes back to me with another client in some way, shape, or form. But it was just good to see that it came back with that same client. So that was my little story.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was. Unexpected.
But I got a story. It's not really anything big, but some time ago, in the Facebook group, somebody asked, I think the question was something like, what is the worst thing that you think about could happen with a client or something? You remember that question, Alexis? So, what do you most fear about going to somebody's house? Because we talk about safety. And so somebody asked the question, what do you most fear about going to somebody's house? And so a lot of people were shocked because I said going into a nasty house. And that happened to me today. It was filthy.
Was it clutter filthy or like?
No. There's a difference between clutter or somebody who just has a lot of stuff. That's not filthy. That's not nasty. That's just a person who has clutter and who has stuff. I can deal with that. It was filthy. So I walk in. Now the people were very nice. I walk in, and so I saw the little thing as you walk in the door to the right where people put their shoes at. So I'm always respectful when I go in somebody's house. If I see that they take their shoes off, I take my shoes off. So fortunately, I wore like some sandal type shoes, and I went to take my shoe off, and the gentleman said, "Well, we're going to be sitting in this room." So I looked to the left, and I just politely slipped my shoe back on because the floor was so nasty. I'm like, I'm not getting my feet dirty. And I looked straight ahead. The hardwoods were dirty. I looked to the right, the other room. I'm like, then I went in, the couch was dirty. I'm like, where do I sit? And it was, filthy, nasty, dirty. So I got in and got out as quick as I could because my worst fear happened today. Whoever asked that question in the Facebook group. And it wasn't clutter, it wasn't this stuff. I can deal with that. It was just like, I felt like I need to come home and take a shower.
I've been in someone's house where it was the dog. Like they let the dog go in the house. You know what I mean?
The dog was in the house. It was a big dog.
No, I'm saying like
I heard the dog barking in the
bathroom in the house.
No.
And it's okay to, with the little pass, but it was like they didn't clean up after the dog. That's what I'm talking about. So I've been in that scenario where
this was like nasty with the capital NASTY, nasty. But that was my story today. Anyway, so how's everyone? We got Terry C. And she hope everyone had a productive day. We got Frank from Little Alabama. Thank you so much, Frank. Frank said hit the like button. And we're going to give you great advice. Yes, we are. Down South Notaries here. Terry C says hi to Frank. Thank you, Terry. She said she invited some notary people to join. Latoya says, hey, y'all, new notary. Welcome, Latoya. I'm going to be ready to hit the ground running next week. I hope your week is off to a great start. Everyone is saying hi to each other. Hi, Penny Day, Sharon Robinson, Tonya Bruton, Latoya, Marlo Morris is from Cleveland. Hi from Cleveland. Danielle is here. Hi, Danielle. Devonna is here. Hi, Devonna. Devonna was helping me out a lot this week. She was my witness. She did a notary for me that I couldn't do. So thank you. I appreciate that. Nicole Ashley says good evening. Maisha, hi. Lucy says hi. Yep. Terry says, look at God, Alexis. Won't he do it? Peach Banks is here. Angela from Baltimore. Hi, Angela. Gelada says, good evening. Lucy's here. Oh, Lucy said that's her worst fear too. Who else is that their worst fear, going to a really nasty house? I mean, what do you do when you go into a house like that? And then guess what their profession was?
What?
They had a restaurant and they baked cakes, and they had a restaurant and they baked cakes. That's what their profession was.
Oh, no.
We got Valerie from Columbus. Hi, RNM. Oh, are you on Facebook, Alexis?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
You can do the Facebook.
Okay. You got all the hellos. I see Bessie H. Duncan says probably a good idea to carry the surgical shoe covers with you in your bag. And then after that, Shantina Shaley says, hello, everyone.
Hi, Miss CC, Shannon B, Tremaine, Joanne. Kenyatta's here from Georgia. Kim Grant Harville is here. Shannon B says she went to somebody's house and they had chicken bones thrown all over the floor. We have June from Pine Hill, New Jersey. Misha says she says, I kept standing. She walked into a farmhouse completely filthy with shedding pets. Ooh. Lydia Bankston says, good evening. Nicole Ashley says, she would never eat from them. I wouldn't either.
We should have found out what place it was.
I do know. I don't think I'm going to say it though.
No.
I did find out. I asked a lot of questions after that. Look, she said she knew I was going to say food. Latoya says she's in Paulding County in case some fellow notaries near her. R&M says she did field inspections inside a nasty home. She's glad she had on a mask. So you guys, we're going to be talking all about apostilles today and how we can add it to our services. So I know for a lot of people it's been slow. The loan signing business has been slow. Even general notary work, has been slow. It was slow, a little bit slower for me, but it's picked up. I don't know about you, Alexis. It's picked up a lot for me. My direct clients with loan signing has picked up a lot. How about you, Alexis?
It hasn't been really slow that much. I get a lot of repeat people, so they keep it pretty. But yeah,
Right.
a lot of
Yeah,
people, not a lot, like usually.
mm-hmm. Yeah, my people that have been steady, have been repeat customers. And so that's
Yeah.
why it's good to have great customer service, you guys. But today we're going to talk about apostilles. And so you guys put in the chat, put a 1 if you have a population of foreigners in your state, not even in your area where you live, but in your state, because you don't have to live in the same area as someone to do an apostille for them. I've done apostille for people in Virginia, Florida, from different states, California. And so a lot of us, no matter what state we live in, we have people, a lot of people, a lot of foreigners, a lot of people from, different countries that live in our state. So with that being said, we got a lot of ones. So with that being said, if we have foreign people that live in our states, what does that mean for us? If we have foreign people that live in our state, when it comes to documents, what does that mean for us? Well, that means that most likely a lot of them are going to need apostille documents. Does everybody know what apostilles are? If you don't know what an apostille is, put a 2 in the chat. If you don't, right, can y'all say that means work if we got foreign people that live in our state? And that's exactly what it means, that we are going to have work. The Facebook user says money. Who's that, Alexis, that have a money sign?
SCH Duncan.
Yep. So that's what it means, work and money. And so Pateri says potential business. And so that's so true. So since we have a population of foreigners in our area, we always encourage to add additional services to our notary business. And so if we do that as business owners, we're making sure that we're keeping our business going. We're keeping the momentum and the movement in our business. Because I was talking to Kim the other week, and I was telling her that every industry I've worked in, legal field, the last quarter of the year, business is usually slow. I don't know if you guys, realize that, but the last quarter of the year, business is usually slow. And so when that happens, you want to make sure that there are other things that you're doing to keep your business going. Well, one of those things can be apostilles. So think about it. Apostilles, business is steady. It goes all year round. It's not going to necessarily slow down because it's a certain time of the year. And the reason for that is because people need documents, apostille or authenticated, depending on the circumstances of the country. They're going to need that, and it's not dependent on a certain time of the year. It depends on what they need at the time. That's a way to grow your business, is to add that service. And so it's profitable because it fits into our notary business very well. We're already notaries. People trust notaries. And when people look to do apostille, they may call the notary and say, do you do apostilles? And also, if the document needs notarizing, they're going to ask you, this also needs to be on apostille. Where do I get that done at? Or how do I do it? So customers frequently ask notaries about apostille services. And the other good thing about that is that we're not under any guidelines or laws of the notary, meaning that the price is not fixed. The way we handle apostilles, we can apostille documents, of course, that's left to the state agencies. But as notaries, when it comes to our price, we can set our price for apostille. Of course, we always want to be reasonable and with even the industry standards of what other people are charging, for apostilles. Even with Alexis living on the other side of Atlanta, our prices for apostilles are comparable. I'm not charging $200, $300, $400, and Alexis charging $170, $160. Our prices for apostille are comparable because we're both in Atlanta. And when general notary work, like I mentioned, or loan signing work slows down, then you got your apostilles to back up. For instance, last week, I got 3 apostilles that's coming tomorrow. I've been talking to the guy for 2 days. An additional one is coming from his mother who lives in Florida. But because he's giving me needs the 3 done, I'm not even charging him for the one in Florida. I told him all he had to do was pay the fees and the FedEx charges. But that was my, discount to him because he has 3 plus his dad has 1. But that's the way I run my business. I know I get my money, but I'm also very generous to my customers when it comes to being fair. And so how do we add these services to our business? Well, the first thing is that we want to know what an apostille is and how apostilles are facilitated. Because when a person comes to you, the first thing they're going to say is that, can you do this apostille for me? And I don't leave them to think that I do it. I let them know that I will facilitate it to them and take them to the proper state agency. Do they ask you the same thing, Alexis?
Yes. And I always explain the process, just like you said.
Mm-hmm. And so when you're adding apostille services to your business, so the first thing you want to do is know what an apostille is, what is used for, how the different countries affect what you're going to do with the apostille or where you're going to send it. You want to know about the different agencies, because another thing about apostille services is it's not going to be specific to your state. Like two that I have tomorrow are for the state of Georgia. One is for the State Department. So you're going to want to know the different agencies. If a person brings your document, you're going to want to know where to tell them that needs to go, and you want to explain the process to them. Because if you're charging somebody, over $100 or $150 to process their documents or their apostille, you want to be able to explain it to them so they can see the value in it. And when that happens and you're able to explain it to them, they don't question your pricing. And so you want to learn the process. You want to be able to guide your clients. When I say guide your clients, the man that I'm doing the apostilles for tomorrow, he was called and asked me every step, what do I need to do? He said, I have the document. What do I need to do? I said, what documents do you have? The documents going to? They're going to Croatia. So I had to explain to him with each different document, a power of attorney, a birth certificate, federal background check from the FBI. Not only that, he did not even know how to go about getting a federal background check. I didn't know exactly. So I researched it. I called him back and I told him the process. And so he was very grateful for that. So when you are adding this service to your business, if you're able to help the client navigate their way through it, they're going to stick with you. Do you agree with that, Alexis?
Oh, yeah, because I have one.
Because some...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I had one. It's a little lag, too. But I had one where the client called me and she, some people just dump everything on you. So she just laid out the whole situation to me. And I had to back her up a little bit. I'm like, well, first we need to get certified copies of all these documents that you have. But she was just trying to do the originals. And I'm like, no. You got to get certified copies first. You know the process. So just like you said, people, they find that useful and they see the value in what the services you're offering.
Right. And so once if you're able to explain the process to them, they are going to stick with you. And the reason why I say that is because you'll even get calls and they're not going to stick with you. They want information, but they're not going to stick with you. I give them the information they want, but they're not going to stick with you because they don't want to pay the price. But when you're able to navigate it for your clients, like I mentioned, telling them the process of going to the FBI to get an investigation, or tell them the process of what you need to do with the birth certificate and what, depending on what state it goes to, they're going to stick with you. And so after that, if you know how to navigate that, then that's part of actually your training. Anybody who teaches you training should also explain part of the process of navigating how to get through the apostille process. And some people say, well, if I'm going to do apostilles, then how am I going to get business? My number one business engine is Google. Most people who call me to do apostilles, they get me off Google, or one of my previous clients have referred them. They'll say, Mr. or Miss so-and-so told me that you do apostilles. So with that being said, you tell everybody that you notarize a document for that you also do apostilles. And I'll ask them, do you know what that process is? Most of them don't even know what it is. And so when they don't know what it is and you explain to them, they're never going to forget that. Today, the gentleman that I did a deed for his estate, his mom's estate, he said, I noticed on your business that you do notaries. He said, but you do apostille. He said, what is that? And so I explained the process to him. He said, oh, if I ever need that, then I'll know to call you. So even if they don't have a business card, if you talk to somebody, tell them you do apostilles. Some of your business is going to come from that. You'll be surprised how many people will tell other people about that service that they did for themselves. And if they need a service, they have someone that they can use. So it's very profitable. You get extra income. And when people say, oh, can you do the apostille? Make sure you tell them that you don't do that, that you have to take it to the state. You will facilitate it to go to the proper agency, because people think that you do that. And we don't want people to think that we are the apostille authority. We don't stamp nothing. We don't approve nothing. I even explained to them that I'm the notary that's notarizing this document, that's proving you are who you say you are. And I'll tell them that the state authenticates the apostille because they're confirming that I'm who I say I am, because I said you're who you say you are. They're like, oh, that's the way it works. And so when you do that and you understand the process, people will appreciate it. And so your role will be the apostille agent or apostille of facilitators. And notaries, again, do not issue any apostilles, or they don't process any apostilles. And so when we think about that and we tell the client that, then they'll use us. I think we have a couple of questions. Oh, Kenyatta says, discount for multi-services bring repeat customers. Yes, it does. It really does bring repeat customers. And another way you can explain the apostille process to people too, if they don't want you to complete it, you can be a courier service. Maybe somebody from another state because you're in Atlanta, that they need somebody to send courier down to the state, because our facilities are open. A lot of state facilities are not open still due to COVID. But since ours is open, some people may want, courier service. You can even put on there that you provide courier services, for apostille documents. And so when you do that, that's another different avenue of service. Besides being an apostille agent or facilitator, you can also be an apostille courier for other people who live in other states. How should it read on the business card example? Apostille service. Like my card just read AJ Mobile Notary and Apostille Services, but I also have a separate business LLC that's Gwinnett Apostille, which is my county. So just add apostille, just like AJ Mobile Notary and Apostille Services. Or you can put in your Google page. Alexis, how would they put that on their Google page?
I put Apostille Services. That's the term I use. But, just like she said, courier, whatever, however you want to put it, you can put multiple services too. Just in case somebody types it in a different way on Google or something.
Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to your notary business, just remember that a lot of customers will call a notary to ask them, do they provide the service, or can they tell them how to do the service? And that's an open opportunity for you to make money providing the services. Terry says, I want to do them, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm nervous about doing them. So Terry, just like being a notary, who was that? Somebody messed up somebody's documents again. It wasn't me that corrected it. And I was explaining to the gentleman that when people obtain their notary commission, they fill out a 20-minute basically questionnaire or test online that's open book. They go down to the county clerk and they swear in and they get their notary commission. So they're not trained to really be a notary the way they should be, to be out in the notary streets and notarizing documents. Terry, it's the same thing with apostille. It's a much more extensive process, but it's with anything, it's learning the process that will allow you to be able to do it. It's not even about being too nervous. It's just about, if you know how to research and make phone calls and ask questions, you'll be able to do it. But with the training that notary educators provide, we go through a complete apostille basic, and we go through a complete apostille for the state and for the federal level, and teach you different things you shouldn't do, and also some questions that may come up that you wouldn't ordinarily know. So yeah, I'm sure you're nervous because you don't know the process, but once you learn the process and practice it, then you'll get it. It's like even with me when I first started doing it, it just kept practice and doing and adding to it till I felt really comfortable doing it. Courier for visas to the appropriate embassies. So that could also be something. Who's the Facebook user, Alexis?
It is Erica Mitchell, Okata.
She says a courier for visas to the appropriate embassies. So most of the people that I have had that needed documentation to go to the embassy or the consulate, they have said that they would do that part themselves. But on the other hand, I had to figure out for them what they needed to do in order to go to the embassy. So that's still another part of being an apostille agent. The person will ask you a lot of questions. The person may ask you, what do I need to go? This needs to go. The country said this needs to go to the embassy. How much does it cost? Or how do I make an appointment? I did that for somebody. It literally took me like 3 hours over 3 days to get all the information he needed. But I didn't mind doing it because I just charged him like a fee to do it. And he was okay with that because he felt comfortable with me because I had done other stuff for him. And so, again, adding this process is like, for instance, tomorrow, when I do the apostilles tomorrow, it will be what I would probably make in like an hour and a half because I have to take it to the Georgia Commission. It'll be what I would take me like 3 days to make doing general notary work. You agree with that, Alexis?
Yep. Every time I do it, it's for me, my weekly goal. I'm like, yes, because I'm put a nice chunk in my weekly goal.
Mm-hmm. And you guys, when you do apostilles for a customer that lives in your state or in your area that have you do it, that's probably not the last one they're going to do. For instance, I had a customer, this has been some time ago, that's from Bosnia and had family members in Bosnia and needed some apostille work done. They called me 3 times to do apostille documents. I have a gentleman that just moved to Colombia not even a month ago. He called me from Colombia 2 weeks ago and says, Angela, I'm going to have to use your services again. Colombia just changed their laws. I need to fly back home. I got 3 documents. I need apostille. I'm going to be here this date. Can you please help me? So I have an appointment with him at the end of the week to do 3 more documents that need to be apostille. So when you have documents apostille, that's not necessarily going to mean that it's a one and done, because if they're moving overseas or they're over there, they may need you again, especially if they have a business. Like Alexis met the gentleman that has a business, or if somebody's trying to get dual citizenship, or somebody's has an estate where somebody left their money or have property over there. If they may need you again, they probably are going to need you again. I've had repeat customers with apostille. So the way you add apostille to your business is to get the training, learn what you can and can't do, learn about the different documents. And you won't learn every document, but if you learn the basic documents, and then with the Department of State, because it's a federal agency, learn what goes with the documents. For instance, some documents is more than just sending the document. You have to send letters depending on who it came from. So learning the processes and then adding it to your Google business, telling people that you do apostille, which means people that you notarize documents for. And just another side note too, I do a lot of notarizations for Hispanic people because most of those people have been referred to me. I don't speak Spanish. I'm learning, but I don't speak Spanish, but they refer their friends to me. And I tell them I do apostille. Some of them know what it is, some of them don't, but they've come to me because they remembered I told them that I do apostille and they like my work. So don't think that because you add apostille that you're not going to get any work. Work for apostille work is all over the place. Like I said, I have 6 this week, pending this week. And so it's a very lucrative service to add to your business. And if you get the training and know the processes, it's not something that you're going to learn overnight. But if you learn the basics with the federal and the state side, everything else will always come into place. There's a Facebook user that has a point, Alexis.
It's Julia. Juju. She said, indeed, it busts up your weekly goal.
Yep, it does. Sammy says y'all are dropping nuggets. Thanks. Is most of the forms the same? So, Sammy, when it comes to the apostille on the state level, on your state secretary of state or your clerk's authority, each state has their apostille form that has to be filled out. So you have to go to the secretary of state and fill out the form for that state. Each state has their own set of rules that you have to follow. So you can't do a Georgia or a Pennsylvania and just think it's going to always be the same process. It's important to read directions. You have to read the directions, because if you don't, they will send it back, and they will not call you and say you need to send this. They will send it back with an explanation. They will keep your fee, and you'll have to do it all over again. So that means paying another fee and paying another FedEx or UPS fee. And my thing about that is that, am I going to charge the client for my mistake? I made one mistake one time sending something to the State Department. And so when they sent it back, I had to tell the client that his paperwork didn't get apostille yet. I explained to him what happened. I was going to pay for the postage, the UPS. And he liked me so much, and I did such a great job. He had like 4 documents. He said no, that he would pay for it. So he paid. I didn't charge him another fee, of course, but he paid for the UPS and the fee for the Department of State. And so I would never charge my client for a mistake that I made, doing an apostille. Marlon Mars says, I process 1 to 4 apostille jobs per week. I enjoy assisting clients with this service. Yes, I enjoy it too. You really get to, I like research. I come from an attorney office background working, and I always had to figure out stuff and find people even. And so I like digging and finding the solutions to problems. So it comes naturally easy for me, I think. What's been your hardest one, Alexis?
I was going to say I was going to talk about this real quick first. My favorite thing about it is learning about people's different lives, right? Because yes. I'm from here, my family's from here. It's just, I'm from America. Right, so when I talk to these other people and their parents are over in, different countries across the world, and they have all these different scenarios. They own businesses, they own property over there, and all this. I like talking about that and learning about different people's lives, because, like everyone says, America's hot. That's my favorite aspect of it. And as far as difficulty, I haven't had too much difficulty. Like you said, just researching. I have had one come back, and that was I just told them, like you just said, let them know what happened, and I ate the cost of the shipping, because at the time we couldn't walk in. I just ate the cost of the shipping, and I charged them so much, it was kind of like,
Yeah. The cost was like, it really didn't affect my bottom line that much.
Right. No.
Because if you have FedEx, you guys, if you have FedEx, if you have a FedEx account as a business, you get a discount. So, for instance, instead of paying $40 for FedEx to ship, mine is like $28. And I don't know how FedEx do it, because sometimes it's like $26, and I'm like, why was it $28 last time? But anyway, FedEx gets a nice discount. So is it like 40%?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's nice. It's a real.
Yeah, it's nice. So if you would pay $40 to FedEx something, FedEx would charge you $28 as the business. That's just like a roundabout figure. Mm-hmm. And so I was paying the $50 if I've charged for $400, and 50 is not gonna be that bad a thing. So the Miss Cece's have either of you had an apostille rejected. Alexis just mentioned, and like I mentioned, you guys, if they reject it, they're not gonna call you and say you need to send this. They're gonna send your whole package back in your package that you sent. And so you're really just gonna have to do the whole process, fill out the paperwork again, and send another fee and pay the UPS or FedEx charges again. So Lucy says, after taking the class, if I get a apostille job and have questions, will I be able to contact y'all to get answers? Yes, Lucy. I can't remember her name. Tamika. A couple of people who have taken my class from Notary Educators. I really like when the people that we've trained call and say, I got a apostille, this, and that. Can you help me? One that I really enjoyed assisting, I can't remember. If she's on here, she can correct me if I can. She had like 3 or 4 at one time from Korea. And they were going, some was from Georgia, some was to the Department of State. And she ended up doing all of them. It took us about, I think she called me over like a 2-day period. So I'm willing to help because I feel that you may be nervous. And once you get your first one, especially in her case, she had the most difficult one going to the Department of State and the state of Georgia and, trying to figure out how to charge all the fees for each one of them. And so once you do one, I think, and know that you've done it properly and get it back and get paid, I think that's what makes you more comfortable doing it. Yeah. Danielle says she haven't had any apostille yet. Have you beefed up your Google page, Danielle? What have you done to your Google page? Did you just add apostille to there? On the other side of HR, I said, I haven't received a request yet. Google My Business keeps trying to remove the apostille service from my list of services. Oh, I don't know why that would happen. Is it in your name? Is it in your business name?
Maybe reword it. That's what I was. Or you can and see.
Go ahead, Alexis.
I was gonna say you can reword it, or you can contact them and see why. Maybe get an answer as to why they keep trying to remove it.
Are you on the other side of HR? Is apostille in your Google name on your Google page?
And that's another little tip too. I noticed after I did it over in my area, a lot of other people started doing it. But if you want to highlight something like wedding officiant, apostille, whatever, for me personally, it's my apostille. Put it in your Google name. It doesn't have to match. Yeah, I'm just piggybacking off what you said. It doesn't have to match your LLC or anything like that. Your business cards. You're just putting it up there so people can know you offer that service. You want to highlight it.
Mm-hmm. So let us know if it's in your name, actual name on your Google page, or it's just in the description of products. Yes, Stacy, I'm looking forward to talking to you when you get your first one. So Miss Cece said, we get stuck on a tricky apostille. Is there a way we can contact you for help, consulting fee perhaps? Miss Cece, yes, and we talk about that also in the training class about, how I help you and be of assistance when you get one or if you have a question. Kenyatta says, how long do they take to perform from start to finish? And so that's, Kenyatta, that's like, it could be 15 minutes or an hour. So the basic ones that if I have here in Georgia, if I get one, I notarize it or fill out the form, write my check, or go get a money order, and I drive it down. I'm fortunate because I'm like 25 minutes from the clerk's authority. So I would say about an hour total driving there, driving back. But I also have had some that I sent to the State Department that took hours. I've had some that I did in Miami that took over a period of over a week or two that took hours. And the reason why is, like I mentioned before, your customer will call you and ask you questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? The customer I have coming tomorrow, he's here local. We've been talking for about 4 days, and he'll either he texts me, you guys, at I think it was like 1:45 this morning, and I woke up. He said, "I'm sorry to text you so late, but da 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 da." I guess he was thinking and thought about something and wanted to ask me. It was about his mom's apostille in Miami, wherever she's in Florida. So it depends on what country it is, whether it's a hate country or a non-hate country, how many processes is in, what they need to do, because they may call you back, asking you questions. What's the number to the FBI check, or what's the website, or how much does it cost? So it depends. It could be anywhere from as small as an hour to like a couple of hours, depending over a few days, depending on what the customer wants, how much they know about it. Danielle said it's been on her Google page. So do you have it under products? Is it products, Alexis, where you also add the service?
Both services and products. But go, I mean, it depends
So is it
on
under your service?
your area too. That's the biggest thing. But if it's something that you're trying to highlight in your business, go ahead and add it to your name. That's what I've done, and I feel like that's what's made me very successful over in my area.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I did to Alexa, because I didn't initially do apostilles, but once I started doing it, I changed my name on Google and added apostille services, and I added it to my products and anywhere on my information. As a matter of fact, I even ran, like when I first started, I ran like one of those where you can add. It's not an ad, but it's like a special, or what is it called, Alexis, when you can add something for it'll last a week, or you can put a period of time that you want, like a spotlight of a service or something.
Yeah, not an event. You can add like I want to say like a discount or something you want to highlight in your business, almost like a discount or something.
Yeah, I think it is like a discount. Yeah. So I did that when I first added it to my services. We do have a class this week, as a matter of fact, on Friday. Write a mobile notice, say, hey, ladies, this question is about fingerprinting. What are you using as ink, since the class Kimmi stated due to COVID, people do not want to dip their finger in the ink? We do the single ink pads, the round single ink pads. And when I use those, I actually give them to the customers. I don't know what you're going to do with this, but I can't keep it because of COVID, so you can have it. And so one man told me he's going to let the kids play with it. So they're on Amazon. They're the round single ink pads. They come like, I think I bought the one with like 8 on the pack. Yeah, they're not that expensive. So Facebook has a question, Alexis. I don't know who it is.
Okay, Terry Wiley says, do you ask for half the fee up front or all of the fee up front?
So what do you guys think I asked for? I'm going to see what y'all think I asked for up front. What do you guys think I asked for up front? Then I'll answer your question. So on the other side of HR said that apostille is not in her name, in her business name. So that may be why they're trying to take the services out, maybe?
It could be. I don't know. Google has so many different weird things. Sometimes what Google does to you, it might not do to me and hundreds of other people. So I gave up on trying to understand Google.
Yeah. And also you have to realize too, Alexis, it's changed a lot over the past 2 years. Well, not a lot, but some things have changed over the past 2 years, because the problems that a lot of people are having with Google, we didn't hear of any of those problems before. Because
right.
you didn't have to take like a video or nothing like that before. That's new. That's fairly new. So Google has made some changes recently. Who's the Facebook user?
I start my class. Sharisa K. Bunton. I start my class with you, Angela, this week. Is there anything I need to do before class starts?
The answer is yes. You'll have it sometime on Wednesday. And so when I send it out on Wednesday, sometimes people don't read it. I actually give you, each individual person, a separate apostille to do for certain states with certain scenarios. So when you come to class, I give you the instructions. And so when you come to class, first, don't feel fearful about doing it, because when you come to class, we go over everything. We go over your apostilles you made in the States. We correct them. So you get to see your apostille you did, the one somebody else did. For the federal, they're all mock apostilles, hands-on training. So I'll send that to you by Wednesday, and you will be able to do that before class, hopefully on Friday night. So on the other side of HR said thanks.
And then Eve Soto said, I'm sorry, am I skipping ahead?
You're not.
Oh, Eve Soto is the how much is training.
So go to notaryeducatorllc.com. It's $189, and I think no, it's a split payment. You can do a split payment, but it will send you when the last payment is due, like 24 or 48 hours before the class. Also, Danielle says, it's been on my Google page. I will try adding it to my name. Thanks. Oh, Danielle, you didn't have it on your Google page or in her Google name? So you want to talk about that a little bit, Alexis, your Google name?
Yeah, so whatever, when you search on Google, that's what's going to populate. Simple as that. So like I was saying earlier, whatever you want to highlight in your business, everybody's different as far as which services they, do more of and what they want to make their money off of. So just for instance, if you were doing wedding officiating and that's something that you really wanted to push out there, maybe add that to your name. So notary and wedding officiant or something of that nature. Or in my case, mobile notary and apostille services by Alexis is in my name. That way it populates on Google. That way clients see this is what this person does. It's real easy. It's not, because people might not necessarily put a notary with apostille work, right? Mm-hmm. Or an apostille agent. They're not going to put that two and two in their head. So put it out there for them. Make it easy.
Right. So you want to make it easy. And when people Google apostille or mobile notary near me, isn't that part of the way it comes up, Lexus, if you have in your name?
You said, is that how it comes up?
I know you can put it in services, but as far as your name, if you have that in your name, isn't that how it populates?
Right. Whatever someone's searching for. So if it's notary, you're going to populate. You're going to be there because your name has it in it. Apostille, same thing. If I put in the word apostille near me, you're going to see me and a few other people pop up because it says apostille in our name. Mm-hmm. And you're going to see, it's one in Atlanta that's like a really big company. They're going to populate because it's in their name.
Mm-hmm. And so one Facebook user says, what time? It's from 6 to 9 on Friday. 6 p.m. starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so the information will be on the Facebook group, pinned on the main page on Facebook group. So Kenyatta says, I asked for all of my money. Sammy 1970, it says none. Sammy 1970s don't know Angela. Lucy says all. Stacy says all. So everybody who says all, they know me. I ask for all of my money up front. And 99% of the time, I get it all. 1% of the time or 0.5% of the time, some people may say, well, can I pay half? And I'll say something like, you can pay all of it except 100. You can pay me 100 when you pick it up. And they usually agree with that. So I ask for all of it up front. What about you, Alexis?
I'm the opposite. I do half, just as a way because people don't know me. I'm a notary, right? So I know that holds some type of standard in their head, but you don't know me. I'm just coming to pick up these important documents and taking a lot of money from them. So just to make people more comfortable, I ask for half when I drop it back off to them. Usually I'm processing within 24 hours turnaround time, sometimes quicker than that. Or if it's Friday, I'm getting it back to them Monday. So, but I would say majority of the time people ask to just pay it all. So I give them, I throw it out there like that, just integrity out. I just don't want people to think, somebody coming to their house, picking up this lump sum of money and driving off. But I don't think people would care either way. I'm going to be honest.
I don't feel the same way Alexis feels.
That's just me.
I'm not an overthinker. When they ask how much it is, they'll ask me, do I pay part of it now? Or what I said, you pay the total now? If they ask me, can they pay part? Yes, I will say yes. But if they don't ask, if I tell them that it's due, upon services being retained, they pay me. Like I said, 0.5% of people want to pay something later, but the majority, 99.9%, they don't have a problem with it. I give them their receipt. I give them I have this printout of like an apostille intake form. That's their receipt. And when they come back, they sign it saying that they got the documents. And everybody's cool. I've never had a problem with any of my apostille people. As a matter of fact, last week, a guy called his daughter and said, "Can you call Angela?" Gave her my number and tell her I need this apostille done, and told her where the papers were at the house. And she said, "My dad called me. You did an apostille for him, and he needs another one done." So, like I said, when you do an apostille for people, it's not like a one and done. Most likely, probably, they're gonna have to need something else done. And if you did a great job, they're gonna call you. And I used to charge extra for same day service, but I don't anymore because I feel that I'm already charging them enough money where I shouldn't have to charge an extra fee. And so if they need it the same day, I said 24 hours. They said, "Can I have the same day?" I said, "If you bring it before 12, I'll get back to you same day." And so I don't charge extra for same day service. The CPR nurses, our colleges allow us to put ads on their merchant page. I've only used it once, but it's a great place to put ads for free, especially if the college has medical schools. That is true. And then probably too, if the college has foreign students, I've had students to ask me to do apostille because they want dual citizenship with their country because their parents were born in another country. Or they need some school records sent to another country. So yeah, I've had to do for students. So I think that would be a great place to place any type of ad, notary ads, apostille ads, I-9 ads, or anything like that. Alexis, your online courses on sale. You want to talk about your online courses?
Yeah, so all of the online courses, those are the, at your leisure, self-paced courses. We have so many different ones. All of them are 50% off. Use code NOTARY. Those include, I'll just run down the list real quick. But it includes my loan signing course, great course for you. If you want to get into loan signing, very easy. And catch your eyes on sales. Then we have our Notarize Like a Pro, build your notary business. If you want to know about specialty general notary work, the ink fingerprinting, and I-9. All of those online courses are on sale for 50% off. Use code NOTARY, and it's at our website, notaryeducatorsllc.com.
And what about the books on the website?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm having to skip around. And also, too, we do have our live classes coming up as well. And then also Kimmi Books, the general notary. She has the notary book for the state of Georgia. She has the YouTube book if you want to start a YouTube business. And she also has the, what is the last one? Oh, specialty general notary work. Don't be scared. So books on Amazon. Everything's at our webpage, though, notaryeducatorsllc.com. Great information, quick reads, and very fairly priced for the amount of information you get. And then for the
some of you guys really help me. Go ahead, Alexis.
I was just gonna say the dates for the loan signing. Loan signing is October 21st, which is a Friday. We're trying something different. Friday at 7 o'clock. Go ahead and sign up. That's going to be a fun class. We usually do it on Sunday. So like I said, we're trying something new. Friday, October 21st at 7.
And the apostille training is Friday, October 21st at 6. So you guys look on the website. Both of those will be posted or pinned on our Facebook page. T-Sign says when you add an apostille to your business name on your Google My Business page, did you have to re-verify your business? No, I did not. I just added it. We all just added it to our name because you can go on Google and edit your name. You can edit anything on Google without having to re-verify anything. Now, hopefully they haven't changed that.
No. Now, if you do edit something, remember, I have a lot of people that get worried about this. it's going to say pending. So it has to go through Google somehow, and it has to be approved. Any change you make on. So just remember, once you make it, it might not go into effect immediately, but it should go into effect within the next 24 hours. I've never seen it go past 24 hours.
Me either. And I'm just going to reiterate something about Google, and there's nothing you can do about it, but always ask for reviews for your Google page. Always ask for reviews. Send the person a link. Don't just expect them to go find you. Send them a link with a short message. And again, that's going to be I think that's another thing that Google looks at when it comes to your page, because when you get a lot of reviews, it's like you're a real business. You know what I mean? You're doing something. You just don't have a name on the Google page that's sitting there. And you can't control who sends you a review or who doesn't, but just ask everyone to send you a review. As a matter of fact, the girl that I did a loan modification for on Friday, she was asking me questions about some other stuff or personal stuff. And since she was asking me all those questions, I felt comfortable enough to ask her to do my review while I'm still sitting there. Because she was just talking, I'm like, why are we sitting here talking? I'm like, go on my pull up our Google page and just give me a review. And she was like, okay. She's like, what's your name? I didn't even send her a link. She pulled it up. She's like, this year? I'm like, yeah. So she gave me a review right there. We finished talking. So I felt comfortable because she was asking me all these personal questions. I'm like, if we're going to be friends like that, then you need to go ahead and give me a review before I leave. That
yeah,
was just
better. I'm bored of asking for a review. I
ask for a review all the time. I tell them, is it okay if I send them a review for my Google page? Mm-hmm. And then all of them don't do it. A lot of them do, but all of them don't. Ryder Mobile Notary says, thank you. Facebook user has a question about Florida Notary. So let's
see who that is. Oh, Ann Johnson Shaw. Can a Florida notary who wants to do the apostille take your class?
Yes, and I do apostilles in every state. I've done apostilles in Florida. Different people from Texas, Florida, California, all have taken my notary classes too, but apostille class. And that's another thing with the mock training. When I send out mock apostilles to do, I do them for different states. I don't just do them for one state. Everybody has a different state for apostilles that they have to do. And I actually send the information to everybody for all the states that I have them do their apostille, mock apostilles. So everybody gets the same thing. And so even though you may get one for a certain state, I send all states to everybody that we're working on. So you'll be able to see as we go along. Write them over notice. I have a misspelling on my Google page, business page, that Google will not correct, even though I go into it to correct it. You want to address that, Alexis? I don't know.
Yeah, contact Google. I tell everybody, contact Google. Google is really funny acting. Like I said, some things that you do, it might not affect me. And some things that happen to me, it might not affect you with Google pages. So just contact Google. That's my go-to.
I think. So Stacy answers, wonderful class. I just love it. You would need to get it started. Thank you, Stacy. Yes, it is an amazing class. Saretta says, do you have fingerprinting classes? We have fingerprinting online. It's like you're being taught fingerprinting in one-on-one online via with self-paced. So we do have a self-paced fingerprinting class. And once you buy the class, you own it.
And it's 50% off right now.
Kenyatta, yeah, they're 50% off right now. So Kenyatta says, will you have to re-verify with Google when you put apostille in my business name? You do not have to re-verify with Google when you change your business name. So T-Sign 713 says, does the business name with apostille carry more weight than just checking apostille is one of my services?
Dude, go on your phone right now. If you go on your phone in your Google Maps app and type in apostille, what comes up? In my phone, it's literally everyone with apostille in their name first.
In their name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it does say
everyone.
Then it gets to people that maybe have, let's say they put it's notaries, whatever, notary, mobile notary by whatever, or just a regular name. Then it starts getting into people that have it elsewhere on their Google page. So yeah, it does put in your name. If that's going to be one of your top things that you want to focus on, I advise put it in your name.
Put it in your name. Because that's the first thing I did when I started doing apostilles. I changed my name, my name on Google, and added an apostille services.
I did the exact same thing.
Lucy says, I'm with Angela. I think she's talking about asking for all her money up front. Gelato says, how far are you driving to the Secretary of State? So it takes me, depending on traffic, the least amount of time it takes me is like 20 to 25 minutes. Now, it has taken me like 35 minutes max to get there. So one way is 20 to 25 minutes for me to get to the, and in Georgia, apostilles or documents are apostille with the clerk's authority, first level and second level with the Secretary of State. It takes me 30 minutes to get to the Secretary of State, but 20 minutes to get to the clerk's authority. You're welcome, Polly Fatty. Hi from Pennsylvania. How much to start a notary business estimate? Forever Andre asks how much to start a notary business estimate. With your commission, it depends on what your state charges. I would say maybe with some basic training, maybe just a basic notary class, maybe 200, Alexis?
Yeah, I was gonna say a few hundred. I'm thinking supplies, a little marketing material, class, so forth. I'm gonna say a few hundred.
Yeah. You're welcome, Kenyatta. On the other side of HR, I just edited my name and it's under review for up to 3 days. It'll probably be sooner than that. It may be sooner than that. T.O. Stein says she tells. You say something, Alexis?
I was about to read the Facebook, but you got it. It says the name.
No, I just said T.O. Stein said I tell them I'm going to send a link for review. So go ahead with Facebook. You got some Facebook people?
Oh, just that one, and then Ann Johnson says thank you.
Okay. Michelle Cohn says, when you add services, does it change your LLC? No. You can only change your LLC through the Secretary of State.
Yeah, LLC and Google are.
Yeah. And so for me, my Google name, how do I put this? So my LLC, like if I purchased it, not purchased, but if I signed up for an LLC and I decided I wanted to add mobile to my Google name, I would not change my LLC because you have to pay more money. You just change your Google name because your Google name is just to get you business. Your LLC is what you're going to take to the bank, what you're going to, if somebody writes you a check, if you accept a check, that's what they're going to write it to your LLC name. So your Google is just for marketing, business marketing. It's going to be similar to your LLC probably, but you don't have to change your LLC because you have your name changed on your Google page. Oh, on the other side of HR says, oh, wow, my name update literally just changed so that it was less than 20 minutes. See, that's what Alexis was talking about with Google. And the other person said, who that said it was going to, on the other side of HR said she just edited hers and they said it was going to take up to 3 days. Oh, she said, it said that, but look, it just changed in 20 minutes. So it said up to 3 days, but it changed in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for you on the other side of HR. Brandy says, hi, ladies. I want to purchase the loan signing course, but I already have my E&O insurance and I passed the NNA course. Alexis.
With that, I'm glad you said that, Brandy. So with our class, I've taken the NNA's course, Angela has, Kimmi has. Our course, I feel like is still needed. So if you've taken the NNA's course and you're still confused as to how to get out there, how to get business, how to conduct a signing, and so forth. If you want to know, about different packages that you might see, just little things like that. that maybe didn't all the way get touched on the NNA's course, our course is still necessary and it's still needed. I always call our course a bridge to the real world. So you've gotten this textbook training, right? So we're gonna give you the real world side of being a loan signing agent when it comes to this. So if take advantage of the online course if you want to, being 50% off, and not maybe not do the live if you don't want to. But yeah, I still feel like our course is needed either way. It definitely is because it's real. It's more real world practical. We go over really giving you a scenario, like making a phone call to a client, what that should sound like, and different other little tips and gems we throw in there. So yeah, I definitely say our course is still needed.
Yeah, and the key documents. You go over the key documents in the loan package too.
We go over like documents that are commonly made errors on, that notaries commonly make errors.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Ryder Mobile Notary says, wait a minute, so you can change your name on Google? Yes, you can edit. There's an edit by each one of the sections. There's an edit pencil. Isn't an edit pencil that you can change your name or whatever on Google. Sammy 1970 says, I'm in Texas. My SOS Secretary of State is 4 hours away, but that is not a problem, right? Because I could mail or have one day dedicated to drive them to the SOS office. Can that travel by into profits? So what I would personally do is I would mail it. If a person wanted me to drive 4 hours, which someone has wanted me to drive 4 hours to, that was both ways, I would charge them. I would be willing to take an 8-hour drive if you're going to pay me for my time. So, but the first part of that is that I would overnight it and put the return envelope in there so they can send it back. Make sure you look to find out how long the Secretary of State takes to process it so you can let your client know. But 4 hours away, I would definitely overnight that. As a matter of fact, Tallahassee, where the Florida Secretary of State is, like 4.5 hours from me, and I overnighted it. The person had a Florida birth certificate. I overnighted it, let it went through the process. They sent it back to me, and he was happy. I just tell them how long it takes. Unless it's an emergency and they need it, then yes, I would definitely overnight it. On the other side of HR says, thank you. And now I'm showing up on the Apostille on the Google search. Hopefully I will get my first client soon. Very good.
Hopefully.
Yep. Renee says, your Secretary of State is 2 hours or more from my home in Texas.
Facebook, let's see who we got. Angie Powell says, loan signing class with Alexis is phenomenal. I highly recommend it. Thank you so much.
It is a great class.
Thank
I like when she finished it and she sent it to me. Even though I know all about it, I was like watched almost the whole thing. I don't think I ever told you that because I was just like so drawn to it. I'm like, look at them, but it is a phenomenal.
Thank you, Angela. And then hold on a second. Oh, Katora in the right says, Angela, do you cover marketing in your Apostille course?
Yes. So yes, it's to the question of marketing. Sharon Robinson says 2.5 hours from my home in Texas. Brandy says, yes, I want to get as much info as I can before getting out there. Thank you. You're welcome, Brandy. Shanae says, I live in Pennsylvania. Do you have a test book I can study? I send a manual for the class. Like I said, we have mock apostille documents that you have to actually, where you're doing an apostille, and you get to keep all of that. And if you have one, you have questions, we talk about that in the class about contacting me for your first one or your second one if you need, help or assistance. Kenyatta says, yes, they would have to pay me well for 8-hour trip. Yep, they would.
Real well.
Yep, really well. I can't even imagine how much I would charge them.
Enough to rent a car.
Way more than that. If I got an apostille for somebody in Georgia and they needed it like in 3 days and I had to drive to Tallahassee, they would pay. I would have to sit down and think about how much they would pay. That's like she said, that's like a 4-hour drive. I would drive it, but they would be willing to pay me for it. Sammy says, okay, so this is doable. I'm going to seriously think about adding it to my services. After your training, though.
Yeah, make sure.
Yeah, but when it comes to how far the Secretary of State is from you, if it's not within a reasonable travel time, you are going to want to overnight it unless the client will pay you. Like I said, the Florida Secretary of State is like 4.5 hours from me. If somebody needed something the next day, and this is another thing, first you have to even figure out if you can if they have walk-in services. Because I've had clients call me for stuff in Virginia, in different states, and I tell them that they don't have walk-in services. You either have to drop it off, or if you can't drop it off, you have to mail it anyway. So that may not even be a problem. You find out if they have drop-off services. That's the first thing when it comes to how long it takes. Miss Cece says, I've been worried about changing my name on my Google page. Didn't want to risk being suspended.
I've never seen someone get suspended over that, but I do understand the fear of that because, like I said, Google's real funny. But yeah, I would change it, and if something happens, Google's there to reach out to.
Yeah. The Apostille class is on all of our courses live and in person via Zoom is on the Notary Educators website. Click on the hamburger under live training. I always laugh because I never knew what that was before last week. The 3 lines is called hamburger. We found out, somebody told us. So click on the hamburger and click on live training, and you'll see all our live training, or you'll see our online training if you click on online training. Jalala says, I'm sorry, did I miss how far would you drive to the Secretary of State? It depends on if they was willing to pay me. Like I said, the Florida Secretary of State is 4.5 hours. If somebody needed it the next day, if they were willing to pay me what I would charge, I would drive, get in my car and make a day trip, road trip to Tallahassee, Florida, and get that still done.
And I only drive 45 minutes, but I'm usually in the city because I go to like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, and it's not one near me in the city. So I'll kind of schedule it like that, or even if I don't have to go to those places. I'm usually in the city, eating, getting food, going for walks downtown, anything.
Every day.
So yeah, so I'll easily go
every day.
I am almost. So it's always easy for me, although I am quite far away from it.
Yeah. So we have one more comment, Alexis, from the Facebook.
That is from Erica Okata. She says, from my Secretary of State is 15 minutes close to me.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
And Terry said she found out, after she did research, she found out she didn't have to go to Lansing, where the state capital is located. There are Secretary of State offices in various cities I can go instead. So yes, you guys, in some cities, in some states, you can actually get documents in apostille. I've seen it. You can get them apostille in either 2 or 3 different cities. And so sometimes, it may not be far, but I have seen where in some states they have like 2 or 3 different locations in different cities that you can get apostilles done. Thanks for that, Terry. So Jalata said, Tallahassee is 2 hours for me. What would you charge for 2 hours one way? What would I charge for 2 hours one way?
One way?
For 2 hours?
It depends, because if you talk about like Atlanta traffic.
I don't know. Are you like Valdosta or something? I don't know where you are, or Macon. I don't know where you are, Jalata. Because it depends on the traffic, like Alexis said.
Yeah.
If you're driving from like Macon, I may charge like an additional $75 an hour. I don't know. Oh, what did Facebook user say?
Oh, it's Erica Mitchell. She says 300.
See, me and Erica right on the same spot. I was like $75 an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys, Apostille is a good service, a great service to add to your business. it does not dictate or determine whether a certain time of the year is slow or not. If people need documents, they need documents. And it's interesting because they may need one document, or they may need 2 documents, or 3 or 4. Like Alexis said, with her business person, I have had a business person that needed 11 documents, to be apostille. And of course, I did a bulk discount. So think about adding apostille services to your business. Get the training. If you get the training with Notary Educators, we do help you. We don't just leave you out there high and dry. Look at the courses that are 50% off, online courses. And there is a loan signing course and an apostille course on Friday. And so I hope this session for Monday Night Mentor has been something that was beneficial for you. You learned a little bit about adding apostille services to your business, some things to think about, as far as what you can do as an apostille agent, or facilitating the documents, different aspects of the business and what you have to do. And so, I hope this has been good for you guys. As always, this is Angela from Notary Educators and AJ Mobile Notary. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it. And I always enjoy being with you guys on Monday night. So we'll let Alexis say goodbye.
Yeah, this was really good, guys, as always. And just a little thing I wanted to say. I sat in on Angela's class for the apostille, and look, I would highly suggest it. For real, you walk away knowing, beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? And she's there to help you afterwards. Like that's awesome. So once again, thank you all for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you all next Monday. You all have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you again for listening to the Notary Life with Kimmi podcast. We would love to be a part of your notary journey. Please visit us at notaryeducatorsllc.com for all of your notary training needs. Also, please feel free to join the Notary Life with Kimmi YouTube channel, where Kimmi has over 400 videos that will help you to grow and build a successful notary business. Until the next episode, we wish you much success on your journey. Bye.